That's your comfort zone? Or are you a crash of rhinos? A crash of rhinos, a group of rhinos, they will go to that wall and they will knock that wall down because they know by knocking that wall down, that's what's best for kids. And by what? By any means necessary. So if you don't learn anything else today, I want you to try to help discover, are you a turtle or are you a crash of rhinos for students? If you are a turtle, understand this, right? Even if you feel like you're losing everything by sticking your neck out for students, remember that trees lose their leaves every year and they still stand tall and wait for better days to come. Okay? So, here are the essential questions I would like you to answer today. Everybody in this room, and I've spoken with Mr. Sales and he's told me you all are leaders, aspiring leaders. Some of you are ready. See, we all have a first step. We all go the first mile. These are the things that we must do. But the essential question I want you to answer today, are you willing to take that next step? Are you willing to go the second mile for students because it's what's best for them? If you've answered yes, then I guarantee you, you're on your way to becoming a great leader. Toolbox. Now, we all have toolboxes. I have one at home, has hammer, screwdriver. Let my wife tell it, I don't use it. And she's right. Because there's people that I can hire to do that job. I believe that they are an expert in that field, and I want the expert to come in before I end up with a bigger problem, right? But you also have a toolbox that you bring here with you every single day. I brought my toolbox with me, okay? And I want to share some items that I carry in my toolbox. One of the items I carry is what I call tool tips and strategies. These are things that I know work because they've been working for me for the past 2 decades. Now, I also add things to my tool tips and strategies, things that I learned from other people, because those things, they may also work because not everything that I use works for every child. Sometimes there's something that works for student A that does not work for student B. But you can go back to your tool tips and strategies and figure out a different plan of action for student B that did not work for that particular student. The next thing that I have in my toolbox is a whistle. Sometimes I need to blow this whistle and call a timeout. You know, in sports, when they call a timeout, sometimes it's to break the momentum of the other team, right? Sometimes it's to regroup because you realize that you're playing someone else's game and not your own. So when I call a timeout, sometimes I need to step back and say, am I trying to do something like someone else? Or am I trying to be myself? Sometimes when I call a timeout, I have to huddle up with other people and say, hey, I need your help. Can you explain to me what I'm doing wrong? Okay? The last thing that I want to share with you that I have in my toolbox is a mirror. I like to look in the mirror to make sure I don't have any boogers in my nose. There is nothing like standing in front of a room of junior high teenagers and your nose is dirty. They will talk about you on Instagram and Snapchat all day long.